He never missed a single day of work, not one day in 11 years. Everyone called him the strong one. He was the one nobody ever checked on. That was not a coincidence. Mental illness rarely shows up as a breakdown. Sometimes it shows up as a promotion. We were all taught to watch for the obvious: crying, falling apart, not getting out of bed. So that is exactly what we look for. And that is exactly why we miss it. Because the mind is extremely good at one thing: hiding inside behavior that everyone around you rewards. There are things you do every single week that a clinician would quietly write down, not because they are strange or dramatic, because they are far too normal to notice. By the end of this, you will have one question that sorts a habit from a symptom. One question, not a checklist. And it is none of the signs I am about to show you. Let us start with the ones people actually admire: working constantly. We call that ambition, and often it is. Sometimes it is the only place the noise stops. There is a difference between choosing your work and needing it to function. One of them feels like drive. The other feels like running from something. Nobody ever gets pulled aside for working too hard. They get a raise. Second one, being completely low maintenance. Never a burden. Never a problem. Never any needs. Everybody's favorite kind of friend. It is also the exact profile of someone who learned that having needs was dangerous. Psychologists have a word for that pattern: fawning. It is not a personality. It is a strategy. And it works, which is the entire problem. It works so well that nobody ever intervenes. Third, the person who organizes everything, who remembers every birthday and every deadline, who physically cannot sit still in a quiet room. Control is a beautiful cover story. Sometimes it is just anxiety holding a clipboard. Notice what all three of these have in common. Nobody complains about any of them. That is the door mental illness walks through: praise. Now it gets harder, because the next group is not admired. It is excused. You are always tired. Everyone is always tired. So it never gets examined by anyone. But exhaustion that sleep does not fix is not actually a sleep problem. It is a load problem. Something is running in the background all day, every single day, without ever switching off. Next, you are a night owl. That is the story you tell. 2 a.m. and wide awake, finally quiet, finally yours. Except you are not choosing the hour. The hour is choosing you. Delayed sleep is one of the earliest markers of both depression and bipolar disorder. It usually arrives before the mood does. Third, you cancel plans. And you call it being an introvert. Introverts get their energy from being alone. That is the whole definition. So ask yourself the honest version. After you cancel, do you feel relief, or do you quietly feel worse? Relief is temperament. Dread is something completely different. Fourth, you snap at people. Short fuse, bad temper. That is just you. In men, irritability is often the entire presentation, not sadness, anger, which is why it gets treated as character, and therefore never gets treated at all. Here is one almost nobody ever flags: thinking, replaying the conversation, analyzing the mistake, working out what you should have said instead. It feels productive. It feels like you are solving something. In the 90s, a psychologist named Susan Nolen-Hoeksema tested that. She followed people who processed their problems this way. The assumption was that they would recover faster. They did not. They got more depressed, not less. She called it rumination, the mind mistaking motion for actual progress. That is the trap inside every sign here. The behavior itself feels like the solution. So far, everything has at least looked wrong. The next group is far more dangerous because it looks like someone getting better. Imagine somebody has a terrible few months, then suddenly they seem completely fine, calm, settled, lighter than they have been. Everyone around them exhales. That is the moment to pay closer attention, not less. A sudden peace after a long, dark stretch is one of the most misread signals there is. Sometimes it really is genuine improvement. Sometimes it is a decision that has been made. You cannot tell which one from the outside. So you do not guess. You ask directly, out loud, today. Same category, different shape. The incredible phase. You sleep 4 hours and feel unstoppable. Ideas everywhere. Everything suddenly feels easy. You start 3 new projects in 1 week. Nobody reports that to a doctor. Why on earth would you? It is the best you have felt in years. That can be hypomania. And it is the reason bipolar disorder takes years longer to diagnose than depression. People book appointments for pain. Nobody books an appointment for feeling wonderful. Which brings back the question I promised you. Because none of this is a diagnosis, every behavior here is also completely normal. Millions of people work hard and sleep badly. Most of them are absolutely fine. One more sign, and it is the quietest. You do not feel bad. You do not feel much of anything. The music you loved sounds like sound. Food tastes like texture. And you call it finally maturing, getting realistic, settling down, growing up. It has a clinical name, Anhedonia, the loss of the ability to want things. And it almost never gets reported. Because nothing actually hurts. There is no pain to describe, just a slow lowering of the volume. In the late 50s, a psychiatrist named Beck set out to prove Freud right. The theory was that depression is anger turned inward. Beck collected the data to confirm it. The data refused. What he actually found were thoughts, automatic, ordinary, entirely believable thoughts. No hidden drama, no buried rage. Sentences so plain that nobody questioned them. That accident built modern therapy, and it made one thing permanent. Illness hides inside the ordinary. So how do you tell them apart? The habit from the symptom. It is not the behavior. It never was. Clinicians do not ask what you do. They ask 4 things about it. First, is this actually a change? Not is it unusual, is it new? Your own baseline is the measurement, nobody else's. Second, how long has it lasted? 2 bad weeks is a bad 2 weeks. 2 bad years is a pattern. Duration turns a mood into a condition. Third, what is it costing you? Work, sleep, people, money, health. A quirk costs you nothing. A symptom sends an invoice. And the 4th one actually matters most. Can you choose otherwise? Not would you want to, could you? Try 1 week without the working, without the analyzing, without the constant checking. If it is a preference, it bends. If it is a symptom, it fights back. That is the whole question. Not what am I doing? Is this still a choice? Everything on this list can be nothing. Everything on this list can be everything. A video cannot tell you which one. A person can. That is not a disclaimer. That is the actual answer. And the reason this stays invisible is structural. You cannot see your own baseline. You are standing on it. You need someone outside it to look, which is the part almost everyone skips, because asking feels dramatic, because you are still managing somehow, because you have not earned it yet. That last one is worth sitting with. Nobody waits to earn a broken arm. You do not need a diagnosis to deserve help. You need one bad enough Tuesday. That is the entire threshold. Now go back to the beginning. The man who never missed a day. 11 years, not one. He was not hiding anything from anyone. He was not even hiding it from himself. It was standing there in plain sight, dressed as discipline. Everybody saw it every single morning. They just called it something else. So here is what to do with this. Do not diagnose anyone, including yourself. Just pick one person you admire for coping. The strong one, the steady one, the one nobody ever worries about. Send them a message today. Ask how they are actually doing. Then wait through the first answer. The first answer is always fine. It is almost never true. The second answer is the real one. Then ask yourself exactly the same question and wait just as long for it. That is where it stops being invisible.